Welcome to Emory's University Law School's course on electronic discovery. What I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce you to what we're going to do in these materials on this course and give you an overview of our project. And then what we'll do is we'll turn to the important question of what is the law that is going to inform any e-discovery dispute. So first let me talk to you about our method here. The course is set up really to try to figure out a way to make sure that you do not get sanctions from inadvertent destructions of various kinds of electronic discovery, or certifying to the court, for example, that you're going to turn electronic discovery over when you really don't have the information that you need to certify. Number two, what we're going to do is we're going to lay out the rules and make sure that you understand what the rules require you to do in your exchange of electronic discovery in a dispute. And finally, what we want to do is to give you a way of talking to your client about how to manage the electronic discovery dispute so that it doesn't have a major business interruption effect on you. Now, of course, a big part of the project for us here are the rules. And you obviously need to know that the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure have been changed relatively recently to try to keep themselves up to date about what technology is providing for the parties. We're also going to talk some about the Federal Rules of Evidence, because there are some evidentiary rule changes that are in play here that also provide for some interesting questions. And then finally, we will talk about the amendments, the 2006 amendments to the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, and highlight what changes are out there and how they're going to affect what you do. Before, though, we really get into the project, let me talk to you about the phases of discovery that you go. And it is crucial, it's absolutely crucial, to divide the discovery process in electronic discovery between preservation and production and then the use of the discovery. You need to divide the preservation from the production and the production from the use. Now, there's also prosecuting and defending motions, which are part of what it is that you're going to be doing. But in terms of managing a relationship with your client, there are different skills that are involved in the production, preservation, and use of the discovery, and of course the general law skills involved in defending the motions. The skills involved are how you interview your IT witnesses to find out what they do have in the way of electronic discovery. That involves some technical information, and it involves an understanding of the tools of electronic discovery and understanding something about how data is stored. In addition, frankly, one of the most important things that we're going to emphasize in this course is how to negotiate a discovery dispute with your opposing counsel. That your instincts are to be zealous adversaries and to go after each other, and of course to try to warn you about what the impact is of a no holds barred, a slash and burn approach to discovery in the electronic area. So we're going to talk about negotiating, and we're going to also talk about some very important suggestions about how to organize yourself in this process. In addition, of course, when you talk about the motions, one of the things you're talking about are your skills of drafting, arguing, and defending those motions, and the persuasion that's involved, and hope to give you some tips about that as we go. The course materials we're going to use in this course are courses that are laid out to roll out to give you a chance to do an e-discovery dispute in the trenches. The idea is that you'll learn the best by doing it as opposed to having somebody tell you about it. And the case file that we'll use for this is called Homestead Properties Versus. And there are three parts to this, but the part that we'll deal mostly with is Manhattan Insurance Company and a dispute that Manhattan, who is an excess insurer, is having with Homestead about whether a large amount of termite damage to its properties in Florida and Georgia is going to be covered under the policy. Now, as we go along here, we will supplement our conversation with some slideshows here to show you what it is that are the key points and the takeaway points, and you will be able to refer to those shows for the bullet points, which are your takeaways. Now, as we go through the program, you'll be given an A-B assignment. You will be given either an assignment for the A's for the advocate's law firm, and you'll represent Homestead Properties, or you'll be given an assignment from the barrister's law firm side representing Manhattan Fire and Casualty. So, Let's begin.